What is going on, guys, and welcome to this brand new save in FM23. We're going to be starting this with Borussia Dortmund. This is probably going to be a mix of like a rebuild style and a let's play series. We did start that lower league save, a road to the Premier League with Boston United. As you can see, doing that for like my main series for the whole year is probably really not going to play out the way I would have liked, like my journeyman last year. The journeyman, you guys remember, was really good. The first few episodes, especially, I think all of like the first season and the second season, or first club and second club, it got over 1,000 views, just to gauge. That's just like a gauge of the interest more than the numbers itself. But lets me know we need to look for a different main save for the year. But if you're looking, or if you're wondering what we're going to be doing with that, I'm going to be doing that on stream, like I did say I would normally play through that a little bit on stream. But then I might do yearly, like a season review on YouTube, opposed to not doing anything of it on YouTube anymore. But try this save with Borussia Dortmund. We'll see how we go and how we're going to continue to do it with, like, as I said, a let's play and rebuild kind of style. You would have seen the video I uploaded yesterday, new game, Soccer Story, which I'm actually really enjoying, as it's something different and haven't played something like that, especially on YouTube. I've played similar games that's not football based, and now those two have intertwined, which is pretty cool. So yeah, check that out if you want. It could attract a different audience, as I say, from the game publishers. They've published some games with some very good reviews, so you'll be seeing that uploaded a lot. It's a type of game where you can record a lot as well and upload a lot. So you'll probably be seeing a bit of that. But yeah, with Borussia Dortmund, let's just get into it. I think, hopefully you guys understand, and I mean, it can probably speak for itself, like I showed you. So Borussia Dortmund, I've done them in the past as well. They're a fun team to manage. All these, always the initial things we'll go through, like the tactic. We'll get a setup here. I actually think my 4-2-3-1 could fit it pretty well. Obviously, we're going to make our own rotations as there was specifics. But I think, fits it pretty well. But before we look at the players, already there's a few names I'm so excited about. So at the very least, like, this is going to be such a fun team. And look at this with Brand and Guerrero already. Like, they've got the bright green link. Look at that. That's very nice. As I said, we could really find ourselves playing well in that setup. Also, I do have that tactic on my Patreon if you just want to direct download and not copy all my individual instructions. If you saw the videos, I've been using that in my Man United series on stream. That's been doing very well. And the Barca rebuild on the beta I did, that was only one season. If you wonder why, we didn't do more of that. It was just, on the beta. Like this feature, really, really cool, but we're not going to be looking too deep, but we can more so take a look at the expectations, become recognized as the best of the rest, and always as not just Dortmund, but a save in the Bundesliga. It's taking down Bayern Munich. So that's always a challenge in itself. That's like so hard. And that's what I took as, actually, funny enough, from my journeyman last year with Leverkusen, having that success over them in the league. That was pretty good. But they want to be best of the rest, finish above Schalke as well. So sign German players, but that's quite low in the importance. So you still want to sign some, and being in Germany, you would naturally anyway, especially for registration in Europe. It's less so in the league. We'll go to that, but they're more the supporters. That's the supporters' perspective, and you see a bit more of what the board thinks here, or more so what they're expecting. Reach at least the knockout stages, which I think is fair enough in the Champions League, and qualify for Champions League. So target that top finish again. So we just I don't think I've ever negotiated that, like, unless you want to chat. Like, why would you want to risk losing your job, like, on the first day? Like, I'm not saying no one has ever done that before, but that just probably opens that chance. Tactical on the pre-season, I think we'll leave it. We'll leave in the default. And that's going to be it, really. We've got squad selection rules, see, squad size. Like, it's not, you have to register. You do have to register everyone, but then you got you got the maximum of 99, even like with the youngsters and all that. So this is where the I was reading goalkeepers. This is where the squad registration comes into play. For example, if you go to registration in the league, like you just need literally 12 German players in the squad, but also you have to register the younger guys. So like, for example, if you just go to general info so you can see the ages, they have to be registered on that. Jude Bellingham, Reina, Mukoko, Adeyemi, he generally develops pretty well in these last few years. That's what I mean. This would be like super fun to play with Dortmund. And it's always good when you got some talents. And Haller, how long is he injured? He's got 6 to 7 months, but he's going to. I'll register him. Like, oh no, we only have 69 spots left. Sometimes those things work out. But how about this guy? He's out on loan. Yeah, so generally the players out on loan, you're not going to register. But yeah, when the injury is not like for the whole season, sure, it's a portion of the season. But yeah, keep them in mind for latter stages. I've actually always, Dortmund have always managed to keep a squad and with players, like a decent portion of the squad, and some of them are my actually favorite players. But saying that, I have probably a list of 50. Not a list of like two. It's not 2 or 3 my favorite players in football. I could probably fit 50 players because so many football players around the world in different leagues that I watch. So, and of course Marco Reus, he's 2 to 7 weeks, so not far off. Might miss the start of the season, but he's been one of my favorite players. He's just aging now, so maybe get up in your comments what we do with Marco Reus. He's a star player, of course, but especially with only 12 natural fitness. Contract is going to be dwindling down come the end of the season, to 2023. There's the big question, the fact, to be honest, he's not on a crazy wage compared to maybe some Premier League teams. You're your star player. Consider that. But his age is look at that. You got Sula, who's a magnificent player, of course, very experienced in the Bundesliga, so he's class to have. Very good signing by Dortmund, admittedly. Very happy to bring him in. And yeah, I'm happy to have someone of his quality part of my defensive structure. Sebastian Haller, I think he is a good striker, but yeah, he's going to be missing for that period, which is as a viral infection. It's, a bit of a tough one. But he's so nice physically. The good thing is he's 28. Natural fitness is good, so I think he could have at least like another couple years in him. So the fact he'll miss a lot of this season, but he could be on the back half of the season as well. So, or like the final quarter of the season, maybe. We'll see how he recovers. Obviously, a big move is Lewandowski going away from Bayern Munich. They're still, super squad though. But let's go back. We're going to target a few players, or one thing we've got to target is the financials. This could be, I haven't been on top of or like aware of how much of an issue is it for Dortmund, because this is quite a low budget and balance. If you just go into the transfers, what did they spend for the season? Look at that. Adeyemi coming in, 33 mil. We'll sort this out by kind of the bigger moves. Yeah, Adeyemi, Haller. So it's like, but their business was kind of, I guess, hard. Wouldn't we love to have Erling Haaland still at Dortmund? 51 million, that would never happen in Football Manager. That's a feature you gotta wonder. You gotta wonder if they would update, but saying that, so far I've got a Man United save I've been doing on stream. I signed Gavi for like 42 million. So there's definitely, you can get bargains. So I might say it is possible, but I don't think it would have been possible to sign Haaland for that cheap. But yeah, there's some players you can get a reasonable price. So maybe it is a bit mixed at the end of the day. And you can get those bargains for top quality players. But yeah, they're going to be rare cases. It's not going to be every world-class player you can get for maybe a cheaper fee than you would think. Like, yeah, that's a lot of money, but not compared to Haaland's ability. It looks like Dortmund's transfer budget, their spending was done. But yeah, I still think it's a bit on the lower side. So give me, Dortmund's feedback if you've got, if you got a lot of knowledge about Dortmund. Apparently, it was 62 million profit. So, I want to just see it myself. We'll play through it and we'll start to see month to month how much money we're losing or maybe money we're making too. But that tells me not really. I don't think we're going to spend a lot of money. Like we just went through, I think they've made their signings. Like, of course, like majority of teams are going to have a settled squad, a solid squad, because they made the signings of their real life squad. They want this to go into this season in real life. They wanted to make sure they're quality. So we're just going to focus on a few of the stars and maybe, a few of them. Some of them might be on the thumbnail. We've got some good quality players. Mukoko, there's these guys, wonder kids, but it's like I don't have to say so much about them. There is a few weaknesses in his game, but also he's 17. I'm trying to look at him because how good he is in some attributes. You look at him like he's a proper first-team player. Really not far off that. Not bad for 17. Gio Reyna, the American, really promising talent as well, labeled as a wonder kid. It's good to have these guys hopefully fit in the same position or in the same squad more specifically. You could have Mukoko up top. Reyna, just look at him again. I feel I clicked off him too quickly. You can have him in that cam role, but even on that left, like inside forward, I do fancy that role. You might notice from my tactics. I don't just mean this, but regularly my tactics. And then Jude Bellingham, he could probably play centre mid. So you have those. I don't mean for start of this season, but going forward as well. You got players locked in. It's a nice little midfield attack. And even another Englishman here, very young, Jamie Bino Gittins, Man City. I like players like this. Not necessarily when they have some weaknesses, but they're very targeted. He's got his pace. He's got his top-tier dribbling and technique. I rate that. I can see how he's going to play in game, and we got some areas of his game, of his attributes you want to work on. You take a look at the wanted, a lot of loans. I'm not sure about that, though. I reckon he could be a real impact off the bench for us. Not quite Bundesliga level yet, but I think he's got a lot to learn in this first season, and I think he'd be that impact sub most definitely, and especially where we don't have a huge budget right now. He'll play his part in the squad. Karim Adeyemi, who I think will be starting up top. I felt, some people said this year he doesn't look as good, but he is 20. He's got growth potential, so I don't want to judge exactly how he looks right now, but it's going to be all up to how we develop him and his development, because he's got that potential. But I think it's definitely important. You get by a couple seasons, and if his technicals are not growing too much, you could be in a bit trouble with him because, I have high expectations. I've seen him sign for Liverpool in the previous years, previous FM games, and he's been very, very good. And I just want him to be that player again that's come up against me. I hadn't had him really in a proper save before. So then you got Marco Reus, talked about him, and everyone a lot of these other guys, Brandt, Guerrero, Mullen, Mats Hummels. We know a lot about those names. So we're going to go through just to round up a bit more. Is there some high potentials, like under 18 type of players? Prince Anning, not bad. Bundesliga potential. You got a few of these guys. I'll take a look at the top three because you could be here forever reviewing the whole squad. Sumela Koulibaly, not bad. Koulibaly potential. Just look at his stamina, not the greatest, and work rate. That could be a little bit of an issue. High determination, though, which is good to see. He's a bit mixed. Julian Rykov, another young striker that could be something. Only 17, coming from Ajax as well. To give you guys the reference, how many leagues we have got loaded? We've got 60k players, which is pretty decent for first season before regions come in and all that. Those are all the countries. I mentioned that because Holland and Ajax, decent amount. Always load Australia because I'm Australian. The top European leagues and adding the likes like Portugal, who has to add Belgium as well. Generally, with Holland, those those countries definitely have some good talents generally, like real life youngsters, and regens are pretty decent as well. Brazil. I normally like to load Brazil, but I guess I thought about it from the England perspective. But regardless, I might actually do it anyway. Because it was more from the England perspective in terms of signing like under 18-year-olds. So what I thought, my plan was to add them in a couple seasons, because normally when I did that last year in one save. It was more 4 or 5 seasons in, and it just added a lot of regens, like ready-made regens as well. So that was my thought process. Let me know what you guys think. Anyway, we don't have any Brazilians in the current squad, so keeping it quite European for the most part. So we're going to leave it there, guys. As I said, have a quick review of the main, the squad, expectations for the season, and how much money we have. We don't really have much money, so unless we get really shock transfer offers, we might sell some. Like you got Pasak transfer listed. By default, at 24, he's probably not going to grow a lot more. He's got that pace there, tackling ability not there. We probably might look to trigger that. So maybe if there's a couple of players in the first team that we're just not completely rating, well, how about that? You got the goalkeeper, you got Mayas, the backup keeper. Normally when he's the lower ability, like the backup keeper is understandable, and then your top talent, that makes sense as well. You got Anthony Modeste as well, as a Frenchman, 34 years old. I'll treat him as backup for the season. His contract expires at the end of the season, so probably just treat him like that. Nothing more, nothing less. But there's definitely a rebuilding aspect because of the ages of some of these lads. That is for sure. But I think no one really stands out like Paslak in terms of we want to get rid of. Maybe Nico Schultz. He looks... I feel like they're a bit of fullback. We might need to fix up that position a little bit. And again, the problem is we're not going to get a whole lot of money for them. So I got to look at the options. Maybe there's these young guys for some bargains. Just take a look at the transfer values of those guys. Between Pasak and Schultz, like getting $1 million from them each, I think could just be probably the most you could get. So treat that as a troubled position, even though there's first team, there's better players in the respective position. So do we treat them as backup for the season because they're not even worth that much? Is it worth really selling them for anything? So maybe you keep in mind the wage in comparison. Nico Schultz, he's far up there. You would say he's in the starting 11 off his wage. He's in the top 11 there. So it's very interesting. Again, if you sort by the position, you got Slotterbeck there. Sure, he can play centre back, but that's what I mean. Left back is a real consideration. Of course, the new feature of Squad Planner, you go over to left back, Raf Guerrero as well. So I think we could really be fine. And Nico's only 22 years old as well. Schlotterbeck, that is. Schultz. It's funny how they're the same first names. So would we be comfortable getting rid of Schultz and then Paslak as well? Paslak is a different conversation because he might be more value if his wage is not really that high. Maybe you're thinking Schultz, his time to go as well. So he's contracted for another season as well, so that's what you think about. So there is a lot to think about this, but I'm excited to get in with Dortmund, hopefully understand the reasonings, and hopefully why I started this to be the main save, and hopefully it can become this on this save. On YouTube, with this save to be my main save for the year. Like last year, I did a few different rebuilds, but I'd love to do just one main save with a fairly, big team as well. And Dortmund will be pretty fun to play with them throughout this save. And with how I intend to record it as well, I want to go back to the proper Let's Play. I always go in between that, but I'll see, what you guys really think up in the comments and how the series starts in the first few episodes. But I think we want to definitely go like that. I might do 2 games, maybe even 3 games in some episodes. But we're recording all of the season, see all the action, just so it's something a bit different that you see on the F1 FM scene on YouTube. Early on this year, I'm just figuring out what the audience, the FM audience, wants to see. So yeah, hopefully you guys will enjoy this. And as I said, for seeing a bit more of the Boston United save, I'll play that over on Twitch. I feel like that's the place for really not as popular teams, not as compared, that aren't as searchable or just aren't being searched as much as someone like a Dortmund up on YouTube. So yeah, hopefully you guys, when you see that as well, I get a portion of my views from unsubscribed channels, or not a channel, let us say channels. I get a portion of my views from unsubscribed viewers. So generally when they're a bigger team, it does help me out. And of course, it's gonna be a fun save when it's a team I enjoy managing too. So it might be a different vibe to last year. Actually, we had a really good challenge in the Journeyman, and I was trying to replicate that again. So yeah, we just got to follow the wave. We got to ride the wave, and really what people are enjoying this year for the content. So hopefully you guys are going to enjoy the Dortmund save. I'm liking the looks of it so far. As we said, a lot of enjoyable players, fun players to play with, and youngsters to grow. So with the challenge, of course, to take over Bayern Munich in the league, and yeah, have some European success as well. So hopefully you enjoy this throughout the year. And yeah, it does turn into a big save for us. So I appreciate all the comments, and the likes on the video helps out a lot. And I'll see you guys next time.